Jim, thank you for the update. And our big story today, the search for answers.
A man and a woman arrested in the murder of a 5-year-old girl and the shooting of her mother. And there are new questions in a deadly police shooting connected to that attack.
It all started at a home on Linden near Evergreen late last night. A gunman wearing a mask opened fire, killing a 5-year-old girl. Her mother was shot at least 16 times.
Then, just a couple of miles south on Evergreen, police serving a search warrant in connection to that attack, shooting and killing a man. Tonight, the family of that man is raising questions.
Our big story coverage begins with 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell. And Kim, was the right man targeted?
Well, police say they were searching for a suspected killer. They admit that is not the person they shot and killed during a raid, but they also say that doesn't mean the police shooting was not justified. Police say they knew they were searching for a cold-blooded killer. Forensic evidence indicates a masked man came into a house on Linden last night, shot Deja Coleman, who was fighting for her life, and then killed her 5-year-old little girl, Isabella.
One theory is that it was purposeful. You fire 16 rounds at the adult, the mother, and then a final round striking the child in the head.
Detectives tracked down a suspect's vehicle. When they went into a house on Evergreen near Cathedral, where that vehicle was, police saw a man with a gun.
They are announcing search warrant, again, police, and in fact, just before the SRT officer fired his weapon, he said, get down, several times.
Family members of the 46-year-old man shot say he is a relative of the 5-year-old killed, terrified, and armed to protect himself. Police say he is not the man they were searching for, but that does not mean the shooting was not justified.
Whether he's the suspect involved in the shooting the night prior, he is now a suspect in a felonious assault against a Detroit police officer.
Police now have 2 suspects in custody, a man and a woman. The woman in custody is the aunt of the little girl murdered.
We have information that the mother and her siblings, her sisters, had been involved in an ongoing dispute.
Now, how could this happen? What would lead a sister to allegedly target her sister and her niece? Police are not releasing details as to motive as they've worked on their investigation, but they are saying they did find heroin at the house they raided. In the meantime, family members, they're trying to come to grips with this devastating situation. 7 Action News reporter Simon Chowdhury spoke to relatives and has this.
Grief and anger surround family and friends after 2 relatives were shot dead, including 5-year-old Isabella Coleman. Her mother fighting for her life right now after being shot at least 16 times. And Isabella's aunt is considered one of 2 suspects. But for the driver family here on Evergreen, they can't understand why police shot a 46-year-old father of 2 who they say had nothing to do with the shooting last night.
They killed my brother, that's what happened. The police killed my brother.
Daryl Driver and other relatives are reeling from the events that took place overnight. They were home on Evergreen near Cathedral early Friday morning after a horrific night. Daryl is the stepfather of Deja Coleman, who was shot at least 16 times, and the step-grandfather to Isabella.
I just lost a 5-year-old grandchild.
His brother, Dietrich Driver, was sleeping on the couch when police sent a special response team to execute a search warrant at the home on Evergreen, breaking down the door and using a flashbang.
My cousin was laying on a couch, and in this neighborhood, if somebody comes through your door, you automatically grab the closest thing to you.
Police say Dietrich had an AR pistol in his hands when an officer fired shots several times, killing him.
I saw my brother laying there. Just laying there.
Family members say police did not do a good enough job expressing who they were and what they wanted. They also do not believe Dietrich pointed the weapon at police. During the search, police arrested Isabella's aunt. While the details of the past 24 hours are difficult to digest for the family, they just don't understand why police fatally shot Dietrich.
This is ridiculous. They're the police. They're supposed to be better than this.
Dietrich Driver leaves behind 2 sons, ages 12 and 9. And even though Isabella's aunt is considered a suspect, police say she is not the one that pulled the trigger. But that does not make it any easier for the Driver or Coleman families as they mourn 2 losses. In Detroit's West Side, Simon Chowdhury, 7 Action News.
It's devastating.